Close your eyes for just 1 second. Your phone rings. You look down, and it's a number you don't recognize. It could be the doctor's office. It could be about an appointment you booked last week. And a voice on the other end starts talking fast. Faster than you expected. Faster than any lesson you've ever practiced with. They say, "Hi, this is Riverside Family Clinic calling to confirm your appointment, but we need to reschedule. Is Thursday at 2:30 okay for you, or would Friday morning work better?" Could you answer that in 3 seconds? Not 5 minutes later, when you've translated every word in your head. Not after you hang up and think, "Oh, that's what they meant." Right then, in 3 seconds, out loud in English. If your stomach just tightened a little imagining that, you are exactly who this lesson is for. Hi, I'm Grace, and this is EFL USA, your home for practical English for life in America. Today, we are stepping into one of the most nerve-wracking parts of daily life for anyone learning English. Phone calls and appointments. Appointments, not calls with a script in front of you. Not calls where you can pause the video and think. Real calls, moving in real time, where the other person doesn't know you're learning and doesn't slow down for you. By the end of this lesson, you are going to know exactly what to say when someone asks to reschedule, how to confirm a time without freezing, how to politely ask someone to repeat themselves without feeling embarrassed, and how to leave or understand a voicemail message without panicking. This is survival English. This is the English you need the moment you need it, not the English you study for someday. So take a breath, get comfortable, and let's stop translating and start speaking. Before we begin, if this is your first time here, tap subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss a lesson like this one. Now, let me tell you about someone I want you to think of as a friend today. Her name is Daniela. Daniela moved to the United States 8 months ago. She is smart. She studies English almost every single day. She can read an English newspaper article and understand almost everything. She can write a message to her landlord and choose her words carefully. But there is one thing that still makes her heart beat faster than anything else. The sound of her phone ringing with a number she doesn't know. Because when you read, you have time. When you write, you have time to think, to check a word, to fix a sentence before you send it. But a phone call gives you no time at all. The words come, and you have to answer right now, in the moment, with no dictionary, no pause button, no rewind. On a Tuesday afternoon, Daniela was in her kitchen. She had just finished chopping vegetables for dinner, and her hands still smelled like onions. Her phone buzzed on the counter. She glanced at the screen. Unknown number, a local area code. Her first thought was simple and honest. I hope this is nothing important. I hope I don't have to speak English right now. But she picked it up anyway, because ignoring it felt worse than answering it. Hello? She said. And even that one word came out a little too quiet, a little too careful. "Hi, is this Daniela?" A woman's voice asked, warm but quick. The kind of quick that comes from someone who makes 50 calls a day and doesn't realize not everyone on the other end speaks English as their first language. "Yes, this is Daniela," she answered, and she felt her shoulders tighten just slightly, the way your body tightens right before you jump into cold water. "Great. This is Sarah, calling from Lakeside Medical Group. I'm calling about your appointment on Thursday." Unfortunately, Dr. Patel had an emergency come up, and we need to reschedule your visit. I have an opening this Friday at 9:15 in the morning, or if that doesn't work, we could do the following Monday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. In the afternoon. Would either of those work for you? Daniela stood completely still in her kitchen, the phone pressed against her ear, and for a moment, her brain did something it always did in these situations. It tried to translate every single word into her first language before responding. Emergency, reschedule, opening, 9:15, following Monday. Her mind was racing to catch up, word by word, like trying to catch water with her fingers. And here is the moment I want you to notice, because this is the moment where so many English learners freeze. The silence stretched for 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. On the phone, 3 seconds of silence feels like an eternity. Sarah, on the other end, didn't know Daniela was translating. She just heard silence and thought maybe the call had dropped. "Hello? Are you still there?" Sarah asked. And this is exactly the kind of moment we are going to train your brain to handle differently today, so that instead of translating every single word, you learn to catch the shape of what someone is asking and respond with confidence, even if you don't understand 100% of what was said. Because here's a secret that fluent speakers know, and beginners often don't. You do not need to understand every word to answer well. You need to understand the pattern. Let's build that skill right now, together, with you. Listen closely to this short phrase. Would either of those work for you? Now shadow it with me. Repeat it out loud, right where you are. Would either of those work for you? This is a pattern you will hear again and again on phone calls in America. Someone gives you 2 choices and asks you to pick one. You don't need every word. You need to catch the word or, and you need to catch the 2 options. Let's go back to Daniela's kitchen for a moment. After that pause, instead of staying silent and panicking, Daniela did something smart. She used a phrase she had practiced many times before, a phrase that buys you time without sounding rude or confused. She said, "I'm sorry. Could you repeat that, please?" This sentence right here, "Could you repeat that, please?" is one of the most powerful sentences you will ever learn in English. It is not embarrassing. It is not a sign of weakness. Native speakers use this sentence constantly, on the phone, in meetings, in loud restaurants. Let's practice it together right now. Listen. Could you repeat that, please? Now shadow it with me. Say it slowly and clearly. Could you repeat that, please? One more time, a little faster, the way you would say it naturally in a real conversation. Could you repeat that, please? Sarah, hearing this, slowed down just slightly and said, "Of course. I have an opening Friday morning at 9:15 or Monday afternoon at 1 o'clock. Which one is better for you?" And this time, because Daniela had heard the sentence structure once already, her brain wasn't starting from zero. She caught Friday morning, 9:15, and Monday afternoon, 1 o'clock. And instead of translating every word, she focused only on the two choices being offered. This is the skill we are building today. Training your ears to catch key information instead of demanding a perfect translation of everything. Daniela took a small breath and said, "Friday morning is good for me. 9:15. Perfect. I'll get that scheduled for you. Can I just confirm your date of birth to make sure I have the right file?" And here, something interesting happened. Daniela understood the word confirm. She understood date of birth. But the sentence came fast, all connected together the way native speakers naturally speak, without pauses between words. In her mind, it almost sounded like one long word. Can I just confirm your day of birth? This is something we absolutely must talk about because it is one of the biggest challenges for English learners at every level, but especially for beginners, building survival. English skills. English skills. In real spoken English, words connect together. People don't say each word separately the way they might in a textbook recording. They blend sounds together naturally. Can I often sounds like kunai. Going to often sounds like gonna. Want to often sounds like wanna. This is not sloppy speech. This is simply how natural English sounds, and the sooner your ear gets used to it, the sooner phone calls will stop feeling like a wall of fast, confusing noise. Let's practice this specific pattern right now, because you are going to hear it on almost every phone call you make in the United States. Listen to this phrase. Can I just confirm your date of birth? Now shadow it with me. Say it slowly first. Can I just confirm your date of birth? Good. Now let's say it the way people actually say it. Connected and quick. Can I just confirm your date of birth? One more time, at a natural conversational speed. Can I just confirm your date of birth? Daniela answered with her date of birth. Slowly and clearly, because when it's your turn to speak, you are always allowed to slow down, even if the other person was speaking fast. Vinati. That's an important rule of phone conversations. You control your own pace when you are the one talking. Perfect. You're all set for Friday at 9:15, Sarah said. Is there anything else I can help you with today? Daniela almost said no immediately. Out of habit, the way many of us do when we're a little nervous and just want the call to end. But then she remembered something she actually needed. She had been waiting for a prescription refill for almost a week and she had been nervous about calling to ask about it separately. This was her chance. "Actually, yes," she said, feeling a small spark of courage. "I'm also waiting for a prescription refill. Can you tell me if it's ready?" There was a short pause, and Sarah said, "Let me check that for you. Can you hold the line for just a moment?" And here is another phrase you absolutely need in your survival English toolkit. Can you hold the line for a moment? This means someone is asking you to wait, usually while they check something or transfer your call. It is 100% normal, and the correct response is simple. Listen to this exchange. "Can you hold the line for a moment?" And your answer, "Sure, no problem." Let's shadow both of these together. Can you hold the line for a moment? Sure, no problem. One more time, a little more naturally. Can you hold the line for a moment? Sure, no problem. While Daniela waited, phone still pressed to her ear, she noticed something about herself. Her heart was still beating a little fast. But it wasn't the panic from a few minutes earlier. It was something closer to focus, almost like the feeling right before you finish a workout. Tired, but proud. She had done it. She had understood a fast native speaker, asked for clarification without shame, confirmed an appointment, and asked for something she actually needed. 3 months ago, she told herself later, she would have simply said, "No, that's all," just to escape the call as quickly as possible, even if it meant not getting the help she needed. After about 30 seconds, Sarah came back on the line. "Okay, I checked, and your refill is ready for pickup at the pharmacy. It should be available after 4 o'clock today." "Thank you so much," Daniela said, and this time her voice sounded different, steadier, warmer. "I really appreciate your help." "Of course. Have a great day, and we'll see you Friday at 9:15. "You too. Thank you. Goodbye." When Daniela hung up the phone, she stood in her kitchen for a moment, just breathing, and then she smiled, a real smile, because she realized something important. She hadn't understood every single word on that call. Not even close. But she had understood enough. She had used the tools she practiced. She had asked for repetition when she needed it. She had confirmed information clearly, and she had gotten exactly what she needed from the call, a new appointment and confirmation that her medicine was ready. This, right here, is what fluency actually looks like in real life. It is not perfect understanding of every word. It is confidence in the middle of imperfection. It is knowing that when you don't catch something, you have tools to ask for it again. Instead of freezing in silence. And that is exactly what we are building together in this lesson. Now let's slow things down and build your vocabulary directly. The exact words and phrases you need for phone calls and appointments. The same words Daniela used in her call, plus a few more you'll need very soon. Our first word is reschedule. Listen carefully. Reschedule. Now repeat after me. Reschedule. One more time, a little slower, breaking it into parts. Reschedule. Reschedule. This word simply means to change a meeting or appointment to a different time or day. It's a longer word, but it's incredibly common, so let's make it comfortable in your mouth. Here are 2 example sentences. using it naturally. I need to reschedule my appointment because I have to work that day. And another one, the doctor's office called to reschedule my visit to next week. Now it's your turn. Try to say one sentence using the word reschedule about your own life, out loud, right now. Even if it's a simple sentence like, I want to reschedule my appointment for Friday. Our second word is confirm. Listen. Confirm. Repeat after me. Confirm. This word means to make sure something is correct or to say yes clearly to something already planned. Here are two examples. I'm calling to confirm my appointment for tomorrow. And, can you confirm your address for me, please? Now you try. Say one sentence using confirm. Maybe something like, I want to confirm my appointment for 2 o'clock. Our third phrase is one we already practiced with Daniela, but it's so important that we're going to strengthen it here. Hold the line. Listen again. Hold the line. Repeat after me. Hold the line. This phrase means to wait on the phone without hanging up while the other person checks something or connects you to someone else. You assented. Two examples. Can you hold the line while I check that for you? And she asked me to hold the line for a few minutes. Now you try, out loud. Can you hold the line, please? Our fourth word is voicemail. Listen. Voicemail. Repeat after me. Voicemail. This is the recorded message system that answers your call when someone can't pick up the phone. You leave a message and they listen to it later. Two examples. Nobody answered, so I left a voicemail. And please check your voicemail for my message. Now you try. I left a voicemail for the doctor's office. Our fifth phrase is available slot, or you might hear it as just opening, the way Sarah used it in the call with Daniela. Listen, available slot. Repeat after me. Available slot. This simply means an open time when you can schedule an appointment. Two examples. Do you have any available slots this week? And the earliest available slot is next Tuesday. Now you try. Is there an available slot on Monday morning? Let's bring all 5 of these words and phrases together, the way Daniela used them, and I want you to listen to this short connected dialogue first, all the way through, before we shadow it piece by piece. Here it is. Hi, I'm calling to reschedule my appointment. Sure, can you hold the line for a moment while I check our available slots? Of course. Okay, I found an opening on Thursday at 10. Does that work? Yes, that works. Can you confirm the date for me? Absolutely. Thursday the 14th at 10 in the morning. Perfect. Thank you so much. Oh, and I also wanted to check. Did anyone leave me a voicemail about my prescription? Let me check that for you too. Now let's shadow this dialogue slowly, line by line, and really let your mouth and your ears work together on this. I'm calling to reschedule my appointment. Now can you hold the line for a moment while I check our available slots? Now you. Of course. Now you. I found an opening on Thursday at 10. Does that work? Now you. Yes, that works. Can you confirm the date for me? Now you. Absolutely. Thursday the 14th at 10 in the morning. Now you. Perfect. Thank you so much. Now you. Did anyone leave me a voicemail about my prescription? Now you. Not a something here. This entire conversation, if you read it in a textbook, might look intimidating, full of small details and specific times. But when you break it into these 5 simple building blocks, reschedule, confirm, hold the line, voicemail, and available slot, the entire conversation becomes something you can actually handle in real life, out loud, on your own phone, with your own voice. I want to pause here and ask you something. The same way Daniela had to ask herself after that call. Have you ever felt your heart speed up when your phone rang with a number you didn't recognize? Have you ever let a call go to voicemail just because you were scared of not understanding? You're not alone in that feeling, and there's nothing wrong with you for feeling it. It's simply a skill you haven't built yet, and skills can always be built. One phone call, one shadowing practice, one small brave moment at a time. We have covered 5 essential words so far. Reschedule, confirm, hold the line, voicemail, and available slot. In the next part of this lesson, we're going to add a few more crucial phrases, including how to politely ask someone to slow down, how to leave your own confident voicemail message if nobody answers, and how to handle the moment when someone asks for your information quickly. The way Sarah asked Daniela for her date of birth. We're also going to go back into Daniela's world one more time, because her story with these phone calls isn't quite finished yet. And there's still a tense moment coming that I think will feel very familiar to you. Let's continue right where we left off, back inside Daniela's world. Because her story with phone calls wasn't finished yet, and something happened just 2 days after that first call that tested everything she had learned. It was Wednesday evening, the night before her rescheduled Friday appointment. Daniela was sitting on her couch, half watching a show, half thinking about her day, when her phone rang again. This time, the screen showed a different unknown number, one she didn't recognize at all. Her first instinct, the old instinct, whispered, "Just let it go to voicemail. You can call back later when you're ready." And for a second, her thumb hovered over the screen, ready to ignore it, ready to protect herself from that familiar flash of panic. But then she remembered how she felt after that first call with Sarah, that quiet pride of having handled something difficult and coming out the other side just fine. So, instead of letting it ring, she answered, "Hello?" The voice on the other end spoke immediately, and faster than Sarah had spoken 2 days earlier. It was a man's voice, businesslike, moving through his words the way someone does when they've said the exact same sentence 100 times that day and barely think about it anymore. "No, hi, I'm calling from Riverside Billing, Regain. Your account in Dintovery. some information before we can process your insurance. Do you have a minute? Daniela caught maybe 3 separate pieces in that entire sentence. Billing, insurance, and something that sounded like verify. Everything else blurred together into one long wave of sound, like a song playing too fast to understand the lyrics. Her chest tightened immediately. This felt different from the first call. This one had unfamiliar words, unfamiliar topics, and it was moving even faster. Here is where I want you to pause with me for a second, because this exact feeling, this wave of sound with no clear words in it, is one of the most common experiences. This English learners describe when talking about phone calls. It's not that you don't know English. It's that natural spoken English, especially from someone in a hurry, from a call center, from someone reading a script they've repeated hundreds of times, moves at a speed and a rhythm that no classroom recording ever fully prepares you for. So what do you do in that moment? You do not need to understand everything. You need exactly one tool, the tool that saves almost every difficult phone call, politely asking the person to slow down. Let's build this phrase together right now, because it might be the single most valuable sentence in this entire lesson. Listen to this phrase. Could you please speak a little more slowly? Now shadow it with me, slowly and clearly first. Could you please speak a little more slowly? Good. Now at a natural pace. Could you please speak a little more slowly? One more time, with confidence, like you mean it. Not apologizing, just asking clearly. Could you please speak a little more slowly? This is not rude. This is not a weakness. In fact, professionals on the other end of these calls hear this request constantly from people of every background, every accent, every level of English. It's simply a normal part of communication, and using it well is a sign of strength, not confusion. Daniela took a breath and used exactly this phrase. I'm sorry. Could you please speak a little more slowly? There was a small pause, and then the man's voice came back, noticeably slower this time. Sure, no problem. I'm calling from Riverside Billing. I need to verify some information about your insurance before we can process a recent claim. Do you have a minute to talk? Slower now. Daniela could catch almost everything. Riverside Billing, verify, insurance, process a claim. Do you have a minute? Each piece landed clearly instead of blending into noise. This is exactly why that one sentence matters so much. It doesn't just help you understand better, it changes the entire rhythm of the conversation in your favor. Yes, I have a minute, Daniela answered, her voice steadier now than it had been 30 seconds earlier. Great! Can I get your date of birth and the last 4 digits of your insurance ID number to pull up your account? Riakin Mavads. Here's something important to notice. This is almost the exact same type of request Sarah made in the first call, just with slightly different details. This is one of the biggest secrets to handling phone calls well in America. So many calls follow the same small set of patterns. Confirm your identity. Confirm a date. Confirm an amount. Confirm an address. Once your ear learns to recognize these patterns, you stop needing to translate every single word because you already know the shape of what's coming. Daniela gave her date of birth slowly and clearly, the way she had practiced, controlling her own pace even though the caller had been speaking quickly. Then she paused. Before the second part, because she genuinely wasn't sure what he meant by the last 4 digits of your insurance ID number. So instead of guessing or panicking, she used another one of our essential survival phrases. I'm sorry. What exactly do you mean by that? This phrase, what exactly do you mean by that, is different from could you repeat that? Repeating a sentence doesn't always help if the confusion isn't about hearing the words, but about understanding a specific idea, term, or number. Let's practice this distinction together, because both tools matter for different moments. Listen to this phrase. What exactly do you mean by that? Now shadow it with me. What exactly do you mean by that? Good. Now naturally. What exactly do you mean by that? The man on the phone clarified kindly. Sorry about that. I mean the number on your insurance card. It usually starts with letters, and then some numbers. I just need the last 4 digits. Understanding this now, Daniela reached for the insurance card. She kept in a small folder near her documents. Exactly the habit of a careful, prepared person, and read off the last 4 digits clearly and slowly. Perfect. Thank you. I just want to confirm. Your address on file is 124 Maple Street, apartment 3B. Is that correct? And here Daniela used one of the simplest, most powerful words in the entire English language for phone calls. Yes, that's correct. Let's shadow this short but essential response together. Yes, that's correct. One more time with confidence. Yes, that's correct. And its partner phrase for when something is wrong. No, that's not correct. It should be. Let's practice that one too. No, that's not correct. It should be. Say it out loud with me now, imagining you're correcting an address. No, that's not correct. It should be 22 Oak Avenue. The call continued a little longer, but something had shifted in Daniela's body. Her shoulders had relaxed. Her breathing had slowed down. She wasn't fighting against the conversation anymore. Translating desperately, trying to catch every single word before it disappeared. She was riding along with it, catching the shape of each question, using her tools when she needed them, and responding clearly when she understood. Near the end of the call, the man said something. That 2 days earlier might have completely thrown her off. All right, everything's updated on our end. If you don't hear back from us within 5 business days, feel free to give us a call back. And if we can't reach you, we'll leave a voicemail with further instructions. Daniela caught 5 business days. She caught call us back, and she caught voicemail, the exact word we practiced earlier. She smiled slightly to herself, sitting alone on her couch, because she realized this word, this small piece of vocabulary she had practiced just 2 days before, had appeared again in real life, exactly the way it always does once you truly learn something. Vocabulary you practice doesn't just disappear after one lesson. It starts showing up everywhere, in real conversations, real calls, real moments, almost like the universe is quietly rewarding your practice. "Thank you so much for your help," Daniela said. "I understand everything now." "You're welcome. Have a great evening." "You too. Goodbye." When she hung up the phone this time, there was no dramatic sigh of relief, no exhausted collapse onto the couch cushions. There was just a quiet, steady feeling. The feeling of someone who had done something difficult calmly, without panic, without hiding, without letting the call go to voicemail out of fear. And that quiet steadiness, more than any single perfect grammar sentence, is what real fluency feels like in daily American life. Now, before we move forward, I want to teach you one more crucial skill, because sometimes, despite your best efforts, you will call somewhere and nobody will answer. Instead, you'll hear a recorded voice asking you to leave a message after the beep. And for many English learners, this moment feels even scarier than a live conversation, because now you have no one responding to you, no one confirming they understood, just silence and a beep waiting for you to speak clearly and completely on your own. Let's build your confidence for this exact moment. A good voicemail message in English usually follows a simple, reliable pattern. Your name, your reason for calling, any important details like a date or number, and your callback information. Listen to this example message first, all the way through. "Hi, this is Daniela calling about my appointment on Friday at 9:15. I just wanted to confirm the address of the clinic. You can reach me back at the number I'm calling from. Thank you. Have a great day." Now let's shadow this piece by piece, slowly building your own confident voicemail voice. "Hi, this is Daniela calling about my appointment on Friday at 9:15. Now you, using your own name. I just wanted to confirm the address of the clinic. Now you. You can reach me back at the number I'm calling from. Now you. Thank you. Have a great day. Now you. All together one more time, as if you're really leaving this message right now, out loud, on your own phone. Notice the calm, simple structure here. Who you are, why you're calling, what you need, how to reach you, and a polite closing. This same structure works for almost any voicemail you'll ever need to leave in the United States, whether it's for a doctor's office, a landlord, a job you applied for, or a delivery service that missed you. So, now that we've built your vocabulary and walked through Daniela's 2 phone calls together, it's time to move into rapid practice, the kind of practice that builds true muscle memory in your mouth and your ears, so that these patterns come out of you automatically the next time your own phone rings. We're going to practice 4 essential sentence patterns that appear constantly in phone calls and appointments across America. Can I need to, is available. And could you repeat that? I'm going to give you the pattern and then several quick real variations. Don't think too hard, just repeat quickly, the way your mouth would move in a real fast conversation. Let's start with, can I? Listen and repeat quickly after each one. Can I reschedule my appointment? Can I speak to the doctor, please? Can I get a call back later today? Can I confirm my appointment time? Can I ask you a quick question? Can I hold for a moment? Can I leave a message for someone? Can I check on my prescription? Good. Let's keep that rhythm going. Now, I need to listen and repeat quickly. I need to reschedule my appointment. I need to speak with someone about my bill. I need to confirm my address. I need to cancel my appointment. I need to update my phone number. I need to leave a voicemail. I need a few more minutes, please. I need to check my insurance information. Now, is available? Listen and repeat quickly. Is there an available slot this week? Is Dr. Patel available on Friday? Is anyone available to help me right now? Is there an earlier appointment available? Is a morning slot available instead? Is there someone available who speaks slower English? That last one is a real useful sentence, by the way, and completely acceptable to ask if you truly need it. Now, let's return to our most powerful clarification phrase. One more time, because repetition truly is what builds muscle memory. Could you repeat that? Listen and repeat quickly with different small variations. Could you repeat that, please? Could you say that one more time? Could you repeat the date, please? Could you repeat the time again? Could you say that a little slower? Could you spell that for me, please? That last one. Could you spell that for me, please? Is incredibly useful for names, addresses, and confirmation codes, things that are easy to mishear over the phone, but very hard to guess wrong. Once someone spells it out, letter by letter, let's practice it one more time on its own. Could you spell that for me, please? One more time, confidently. Could you spell that for me, please? Take a moment now and notice something remarkable. In just this lesson so far, you have practiced reschedule, confirm, hold the line, voicemail, available slot. Could you please speak a little more slowly? What exactly do you mean by that? Yes, that's correct. No, that's not correct. It should be, could you repeat that? Could you say that one more time? And could you spell that for me, please? That is not a small amount of English. That is a real toolkit, the kind of toolkit that transforms a terrifying unknown phone number into something you can simply answer calmly, the way Daniela did on that Wednesday evening. I want you to think back to the question I asked at the very beginning of this lesson. Have you ever felt your heart speed up when your phone rang with a number you didn't recognize? I asked you to notice that feeling, not to judge yourself for it, but to recognize it as a signal that this exact skill, phone confidence, is one worth building carefully and patiently. The same way Daniela built hers. One call at a time. One phrase at a time. One small, brave moment at a time. In the next part of our lesson, we're going to follow Daniela one final time to her actual appointment on Friday morning, where a new, slightly different challenge is waiting for her at the front desk. One that will test everything we've practiced together in a completely new setting. We'll also review everything we've learned so far, tightening it all together into patterns you can use again and again. In any phone call, on any day, whenever your phone rings and it's finally your turn to answer with confidence instead of fear. Friday morning arrived, and Daniela woke up earlier than her alarm, her mind already turning over the words she had practiced all week. Reschedule. Confirm. Hold the line, could you? Repeat that. She said them quietly to herself while she made coffee, not out of nervousness this time, but almost like a small ritual. The way an athlete stretches before a race, warming up muscles that were finally starting to feel strong instead of stiff. She arrived at Lakeside Medical Group at 9 o'clock, 15 minutes early, exactly as she had planned. The waiting room was small and bright, with soft chairs along the walls and a receptionist behind a curved wooden desk, typing quickly on her computer. Daniela walked up, her folder with her insurance card tucked neatly under her arm. And, for a brief second, that old familiar flutter returned in her chest. But this time, it felt different, smaller, more like the nervousness before speaking in front of a class than the paralyzing fear from her first phone call days earlier. "Good morning," the receptionist said, glancing up with a friendly smile. "Can I help you?" "Good morning," Daniela answered, her voice clear and steady. "I have an appointment at 9:15. My name is Daniela Torres." "Let me check that for you," the receptionist said, turning back to her screen, scrolling for a moment. "I'm sorry, I'm not seeing an appointment under that name for today." "Let me look again. Is it possible it was booked under a different date?" Here it was, the exact kind of unexpected twist that no textbook conversation ever quite prepares you for. Daniela felt a small jolt of worry, the kind that comes when something you carefully planned suddenly doesn't match reality. But instead of panicking or falling silent, she remembered something important. When you don't have all the information, you simply give the information you do have, clearly and calmly, and let the conversation build from there. "I spoke with someone named Sarah earlier this week," Daniela said. "She rescheduled my appointment from Thursday to today, Friday, at 9:15. It was for my visit with Dr. Patel." "Oh, thank you. That helps a lot," the receptionist said, typing again. "Let me search under Dr. Patel's schedule instead of the general calendar." "Ah, here it is. I see it now. It looks like it might have been entered under a slightly different spelling of your last name. I apologize for the confusion. Can you confirm your date of birth for me? Just to make sure I have the right file pulled up." And there it was again. The exact same pattern Daniela had practiced on the phone just days before. Appearing now in person at a front desk in real life. She answered clearly, without hesitation, her date of birth flowing out naturally. The way a phrase sounds. Once you've said it enough times that it no longer requires translation in your head, it simply exists in English, ready when you need it. Perfect, that matches, the receptionist said. You're all set. 9:15 with Dr. Patel. If you could just fill out this small form while you wait, that would be great. Also, I see here you have a prescription refill on file. Would you like me to send a request for that today as well? This was Daniela's moment, the kind of small opportunity that easily slips by if you're too nervous or too eager to end a conversation quickly. Just like on that first phone call, she remembered to ask for what she actually needed instead of simply saying yes to end the interaction. Yes, please, Daniela said. And can you tell me approximately how long that usually takes to be ready at the pharmacy? Usually about 1 to 2 hours after we send it, the receptionist answered. We'll send it right after your appointment today. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Daniela said, taking the small clipboard with the form and settling into one of the soft chairs by the window as she filled out the form. Checking small boxes and writing her information carefully, she allowed herself a quiet moment of reflection, the kind of moment we sometimes need. After facing something that used to frighten us, she thought about the version of herself from just 1 week earlier. The one who let unknown numbers go straight to voicemail, who avoided phone calls entirely, who once asked a neighbor to call the pharmacy for her. Because the idea of doing it herself felt impossible. That version of herself hadn't disappeared completely. Not yet, not forever. Fear doesn't work that way. But something had shifted quietly and steadily. The same way water slowly shapes stone, not through one dramatic moment, but through small, repeated moments of trying anyway. Each phone call, each request for clarification, each "Could you repeat that, please?" had added one more small layer of confidence until eventually that confidence was strong enough to carry her through an unexpected mix-up at a front desk, without panic, without giving up, without needing anyone else to speak for her. When her name was finally called, "Daniela, the doctor is ready for you." She stood up, folder in hand, and walked toward the door with her shoulders straight, not because every fear was gone, but because she had learned something far more valuable than perfect grammar or perfect pronunciation. She had learned that she could handle whatever came next, one clear sentence at a time. Now, let's bring everything we've learned today together. The way Daniela's whole week came together. Phone call by phone call, moment by moment. What about you? Have you ever had a moment like Daniela's front desk mix-up, where something unexpected happened and you had to think on your feet in English? That feeling, that small spike of panic followed by the relief of handling it. That is exactly the feeling we are training today, together, one shadowing practice at a time. Let's review everything we practiced in this lesson, because reviewing is one of the fastest ways to move new words from your memory into your mouth, ready to use the next time your own phone rings. We started with reschedule, which means to change the time or day of an appointment. Listen one more time and shadow it with full confidence now. Reschedule. I need to reschedule my appointment. Say that sentence out loud one more time, clearly. Next was confirm, meaning to make sure something is correct. Listen and shadow. Confirm. Can you confirm my appointment time? Say it out loud, clearly and naturally. Then we had hold the line, used when someone asks you to wait on the phone. Listen and shadow. Hold the line. Can you hold the line for a moment? Say it now, at a natural, confident speed. We learned voicemail, the recorded message system for when nobody answers. Listen and shadow. Voicemail. I left a voicemail this morning. Say it out loud, clearly. We practiced available slot, meaning an open time for an appointment. Listen and shadow. Available slot. Is there an available slot this week? Say it now, with confidence. We built our most powerful clarification tool. Could you please speak a little more slowly? Let's say this one together, one final time, slowly, then at a natural pace. Could you please speak a little more slowly? One more time, naturally. Could you please speak a little more slowly? We learned how to ask for meaning directly. With what exactly do you mean by that? Let's shadow it one final time. What exactly do you mean by that? We practiced confirming and correcting information with yes, that's correct, and no, that's not correct, it should be. Let's say both together, clearly. Yes, that's correct. No, that's not correct. It should be. And finally, we built a full, confident voicemail structure. Your name, your reason for calling, your important details, and your callback information, closing with a polite thank you. Take a moment right now, out loud, wherever you are, and try leaving a short voicemail message about something real in your own life, using your own name, your own situation. Give yourself permission to make small mistakes. The goal is not perfection today. The goal is simply speaking without freezing, exactly the way Daniela did. Here is something I want you to carry with you long after this video ends. Phone calls in English will probably always feel a little bit different from face-to-face conversations. A little faster, a little more unpredictable, a little less forgiving of hesitation. That's simply the nature of a call. No faces, no gestures, just voices moving quickly through time. But what changes, what truly changes with practice, is not the speed of the other person's voice. What changes is your relationship with that fear. The unknown number stops feeling like a threat and starts feeling like just another normal part of your day. Something you can handle. Something you have handled before, many times, successfully. Next time your phone rings with a number you don't recognize, I want you to remember Daniela standing in her kitchen, hands still smelling like onions, choosing to answer instead of letting it go to voicemail. I want you to remember the small, steady phrases that carried her through. Could you repeat that, please? Could you please speak a little more slowly? Yes, that's correct. Can you hold the line for a moment? These are not complicated sentences. They do not require perfect grammar or an enormous vocabulary. They require only one thing: the willingness to speak, even when you're not 100% sure, even when your heart beats a little faster, even when 3 seconds of silence feels like forever. Because that is what real fluency looks like in daily American life. It is not the absence of nervousness. It is the presence of tools, small, practical, well-practiced tools, ready in your mouth the moment you need them. So that when the phone rings, when the receptionist asks an unexpected question, when the voice on the other end speaks just a little too fast, you don't freeze. You breathe, you reach for the phrase you've practiced, and you speak. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I'm so proud of the effort you've put into this lesson, staying with me through every shadowing round, every new word, every moment of Daniela's story. If this lesson helped you feel even a little more confident about answering your own phone, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell, because next time we're going to step into another essential survival situation. This time, inside a pharmacy, learning exactly what to say when you're picking up a prescription and the pharmacist asks you questions you've never had to answer in English before. Until then, keep practicing a little every day. Keep saying these phrases out loud, even when you're alone. And remember, you don't need to translate every sentence. You just need to train your brain, one small, brave phone call at a time.